I didn't. I need one though. Whenever you get a chance, I would love one.
All right.
No, it's in the bag.
Yeah, he brought that.
should be facing this way.
I didn't know. I said I was coming, but I didn't know I was coming for real. You know, you say stuff that sounds weird.
Yeah, you gotta do.
I bought it as a package, so the package was like $250. So for the whole package, we had like a shirt, a sweatshirt, a bag, and a book. No, it's not. I mean, I'm content where I am. Y'all can have this confusion. I have a different type of confusion when my kids run away from their placement. They got their ankle on it, and they run away again. GPS falling together. And then they think, like, oh, I came back home, I'm not in trouble. You want to get trouble. Because you had to write an affidavit for consent to do it. So, it's fun. Then the extra fun part is this court as well. Today's Monday, so my case comes on Wednesday. This is my first time testifying. Other times just enjoying each other say we can go back. Wednesday I have to testify because the petition for her to get arrested. She didn't follow.
Testing.
I miss kids a little bit.
I'm here every month, and I think every month trying to get children trying to get she said that I mean, seriously, he's talking last night. Asked about, he asked about reparations. Her third form. Her work, and I'll graduate. Agenda. They're doing it in person. Why can't we do it? He said if it rains, it rains. It's a red one.
The ushers should take that.
Yeah, I talked to my sister. Yeah, I talked to everybody yesterday. I talked to you about it.
What is it for now? It's supposed to be either today or tomorrow.
The person said you look great. The person said you look great.
Good evening. The time is 7:05 p.m. and I would like to call to order the Monday, May 10th meeting of the Southampton County School Board. We have all of our school board members present, so we do have a quorum. Is there a school board member who would like to add an item to the agenda tonight? So then could we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? We have a motion by Mr. Smith, a second by Ms. Bunn, to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes of the Monday, April 12th, 2021 meeting were in your school board packets. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? So would we have a member to move approval?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Ms. Bradley, a second by Mr. Worsham, to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We have no recognitions for tonight, so we are now at the public comment period. We have no person signed up for public comment period for tonight. So now we're down to item 5, which is matters from previous meetings. So the only item there is an update on the 2021-22 school board operating budget. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, Mrs. Carr is going to provide that update along with the financial report. Mrs. Carr?
Good evening, Chairman Goodwin, school board members, all present tonight. The update on the budget reads as follows. The Budget Committee met on April the 26th to discuss revisions to the budget to meet the request of the county's recommended budget of $33,652,178. A decrease of $1,625,365 was required to balance the recommended budget, which needed to be submitted by April 27th to meet the deadline for advertising the county's budget. $542,904 of this reduction was in the debt service category, and the remaining $1,082,461 was reduced from the remaining categories. Items retained in the budget included the 5% salary increases, the guidance counselor at Riverdale, and specialized student support positions as part of the new state initiative. The Board of Supervisors will hold a public hearing on the proposed FY22 budget on next Monday night, May 17th at 7:00 p.m. at the Southampton County Office Center boardroom. Any questions on the budget update?
What time was the public hearing?
7:00.
Mr. Pope chairs the school board budget committee. So Mr. Pope, anything to add?
The budget committee did meet about 2 weeks ago to discuss what Ms. Carter has presented. That's the only thing I had to add.
Thank you. So could we move to the financial report and payment of bills, Dr. Shannon?
Sure. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So if I could bring your attention now to the preliminary expenditure report for the month of April. As of April 30th, the revised budget is $35,638,420.25. The actual expenditures through April 30th total $24,053,270.84. The balance for the operating budget as of April 30th was $11,585,149.41. Please note that as of the date of this report, 67.49% has been expended from the operating budget. If there are no questions tonight, the April bill list has been attached to the agenda for the board's approval.
Thank you. Any questions, Ms. Carr? Mr. Pope?
I make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Pope. Do we have a second? We have a second by Ms. Bond to pay the bills as presented. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the 12-month employee calendar for the 2021-2022 school year. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, the 12-month employee calendar is very similar to the one from the previous year. The 12-month employees will have 13 paid holidays, and of those 13 paid holidays, election day is also included. The 12-month employees will begin working a 4-day work week on June the 28th, and it will commence on or finish on August the 20th.
Any questions for Dr. Shannon concerning the calendar? We need a motion to approve that. We have a motion by Ms. Bond, a second by Ms. Reynolds. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The next item on the agenda is the academic calendar for school year 21-22. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, the academic calendar, just as the employees calendar, is very similar to the one from the previous year. It still contains 182 instructional days, and the only difference in this calendar and the calendar last year is that every employee now has election day off, and the day before Thanksgiving is a half day as opposed to a day off, the Wednesday.
Any questions for Dr. Shannon? We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Ms. Bradley, a second by Mr. Scott. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the Board of Supervisors of Southampton County's request to use Hunterdale Elementary School. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, the Southampton County Board of Supervisors, through the county manager, Mr. Mike Johnson, has made a request to utilize Hunterdale Elementary School for the purposes of relocating the court, the circuit court. And the dates will be from July the 1st, 2021 until January 31st, 2023. It's considered a triple net lease, and what that means is that the Board of Supervisors will be responsible for the possession, operation, and maintenance of the property while they are leasing the property. They are responsible for any improvements of the property, and they also are responsible for liability insurance, which they listed here that they will insure the building through, or have liability insurance through Bayport. That's all.
Any questions for Dr. Shannon?
relocate those children. And, the Board of Supervisors is paying for us to relocate Fresh Start Center.
Okay, so we're gonna be starting.
Correct.
So they will be separated from.
Yes, the students of the Fresh Start Center will not be on the Fresh Start Center campus at all. So we'll have no students on that campus. And that entire campus, will be utilized by the Board of Supervisors for the purposes of school.
Any additional questions, comments? Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion by Ms. Bradley, a second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the instructional report. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Gillette, the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, is on her way to get that report.
I was smiling the whole way, you just couldn't see me. Good evening, Dr. Goodwin, Dr. Shannon, all board members, and everyone present. Happy Monday. I do have the instructional report for you. We're going to look at testing updates and updating on our pacing guides. So for our testing, I wanted to let you know that our in-person students are taking their SOL test. They're being administered on schedule. Our virtual students that are choosing to take the SOL test are being administered on schedule as well. Transportation is provided for all virtual students that need it. They come in to take the SOL test. The Virginia Remote Progress Test, virtual students that choose to opt out of the SOL and choose to be tested can take this test. Any student can opt out of the SOL test and the Virginia Remote Progress Test. They can opt out of that, even if they're in high school, but they are informed that they need that verified credit to graduate. And once again, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you do have it in your notes. You can see the progress that we've made from last month to this month. You'll see that several more of our subjects are completed as SOLs are coming up. All of our reading, third grade reading is this week, but fourth and fifth grade's already taken theirs. Civics has taken theirs, and we're moving on this week. So there's elementary, and I just want to give you a shot of the middle school. There we go, middle school. You see that many of them are complete as well. So once they're complete, they dive deep into review. I mean, it's very, very direct instruction in reviewing those SOLs where students need help. And you can see here civics, like I said, is complete. We've already taken that test. And you'll see other subjects that are not tested. With our language arts, with our English, our middle school and elementary take their SOLs in May. And our high school, they start taking SOLs on June the 18th. So they do have time to finish up their SOLs. And you can see some of these that they have left, including our CTE with our competencies. So again, once again, next month I will update you on these SOLs we have left. Do we have any questions for the instructional report?
Just one, Mr. Levin.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between a progress test and an SOL test?
Well, the SOL test is computer adaptive testing, which means with the reading and the math, which means that when the students get asked a question, if they get it right, it may go up to a higher level. If they get it wrong, it'll go down to a lower level as they continue throughout the test. It's computer adaptive. The test that they take at home, the performance test, that's just like a old SOL test, when everybody had the same questions all the way through. All 30 questions were the same for every student. There is no change. It's just like if it was a paper and pencil test in front of you, but you're taking it on the computer.
Any other questions for Ms. Gillette? Thank you, Ms. Gillette.
You're welcome.
The next item on the agenda is the summer school plan. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, Mrs. Gillette will present that plan as well. Thank you, Mrs. Gillette.
Sure. So we are looking at our summer school program. These are our committee members. We have central office staff and teachers from every level. We want to look at the purpose of summer school. We want to provide the opportunity for teachers to close those learning gaps that students have. We want to look closely at the SOLs and the Virginia Curriculum Framework that are not mastered, so these students can move forward. We want to provide opportunities for students to have recovery credit if they did not pass. We'll give them another chance to pass. Also, it's going to provide students opportunities to take new and additional classes for credit at the high school. When we look at cost, we wanted to continue our summer school. It's going to be looking at math and reading, and we're going to make this summer not cost for the students. It's been free in the past for our elementary and middle, but we're also going to do the same thing for our high school students, that they will not have to pay a tuition. Unless they are taking a new course, then we'll look at the availability of that, if it happens to be through Plato or Virgil, Virginia. We strongly encourage all students to register for in-person learning opportunities. We would like summer school to be in person, and we're going to provide students enrichment, remediation, and have their grade improved. Transportation will be provided for all students. And as always, just as we have been doing, students will maintain 3 to 6 foot of distance throughout the day. They'll have frequent hand washing. They'll eat breakfast in the classroom. We'll have temperature checks, and everyone will wear a mask. When we look at eligibility, the passing score for the SOL is 400. So anyone that does not get a 400, 399 or below, will be recommended for summer school in grades 3 through 8. Students who should be, that are going to be retained in their grade because they have not mastered the objectives, we'll give them an opportunity to possibly be promoted to the next grade. Any student that is identified in need of a program of intervention and remediation, even if they've passed but they need help to continue to stay on level or just get to where they need to be, or even surpass, become above level. So we mentioned if they did not pass the SOL, also any benchmarks, if they took the PALS, the Phonological Awareness Literacy Screening Test, and they were low on that, they are eligible. And of course, the building principal can recommend any student that they feel would benefit from summer school. At the elementary and middle school, there will be a prescribed curriculum that everyone will follow. We'll have guided and direct instruction that will have individualized skills depending on the data from the student, where they're at, teach them where they're at and move forward. It will be for reading and mathematics. It will definitely have small group, and again, we would like to have in-person instruction. school, the courses will be based on teacher availability. Again, we'll have direct instruction, the free tuition for the credit recovery. We'll have new courses for students to take to get ahead, and students will be able to retake SOL tests and have in-person instruction. And you'll see those dates are June 23rd through July 29th. The students will go from 8:30 till 12 o'clock for one session. They can go for two sessions. The second one is 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. The student schedule for elementary and middle school will be 8:30 to 1 o'clock. Again, June 28th through July 29th, Monday through Thursday, and high school is Monday through Thursday too. The teacher schedule. Teacher schedule will be June 23rd because they'll come in earlier to get ready for summer school for the students through July 29th. Their hours will be 8:15 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. High school hours will be 8:15 to 5 o'clock p.m. Monday through Thursday. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Do you have any idea on what type of numbers we're looking at for summer school?
We have already had principals send in some recommendations, who they feel would benefit from the summer school, and we'll also have to wait for our SOL test. We do have somewhat of an idea, and we've also put out feelers for teachers as well. So those applications will go out very, very soon. But we already have an idea of teachers that are interested.
I'm assuming we'll have a very robust group this year on code because we're going to be trying to bring some kids up.
Yes, ma'am, that is the hope. That's what we want.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is not pertaining particularly to just summer school, but I think that some years ago, we implemented a program called Project Team at our middle school to help with our older age population in terms of getting students to the point that they could finish their core subject area first semester block, and then their four quarter areas in 8th grade in the next semester. I would like to get permission to work with those schools and see if we can relocate, find that data on that program. Some years ago when it was the Rick program, but it was an excellent way of having students make up a full year of coursework.
It sounds like a great idea, but I would suggest you work with Dr. Shannon. And,
But I need to just find the data, yeah. Once I get the data out, then.
we will accept your word that it was successful. And I think what you're talking about is reinstituting the program because it was successful. And I think that working with Dr. Shannon, you should be able to resurrect or, reinstitute that program. So if you would meet with Dr. Shannon to discuss that idea, I would appreciate it. And then you can come back to the board and let us know, and give us a progress report in terms of what's going on. Thank you. So then I understand the summer school is open to anybody who wants to come, correct?
If someone desires to come, we're not going to turn anyone away.
Okay.
But we are looking for those students in need.
Summer school is open to all, and it's free.
It's free. Transportation is provided from house to school.
Transportation provided, no cost, open to all.
And they will, students will have the chance to be promoted, hopefully.
And the focus will be on credit recovery, closing achievement gap,
Yes, ma'am.
and to the extent possible, students who want to accelerate at the high school can take a new course.
Yes, Madam Chair.
And it will be in-person instruction.
We
will
want
not have
in-person
a virtual
instruction.
option for the summer.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions, comments? And I think I captured everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the auxiliary services and roof report. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, Mr. Bell is going to provide that report.
So I got kind of 3 presentations back to back to back here. So just going through real quick, transportation. Buses for the most part are on time. Students are getting in and out of the buildings smoothly. Thank you to the principals and their staffs for that. It's been going really well, and being out there at the end of the day, getting them on the bus has been pretty good. So we've been cleaning up our ridership counts. Kids are falling in, some kids are falling into 1 of 2 categories. Either they signed up to ride the bus and they're not riding the bus, or they didn't sign up to ride the bus and they were on the bus the first 9 weeks. So we're cleaning that up, and we're going through and getting them where they need to be. Right now, we're transporting about 744 kids each day. It's down a little bit, but that was everybody that was registered in February is counted in that 763. Let's see, does it make it any better? No. All right. Now we are welcoming more and more kids back onto the buses. It took us a couple weeks to get the ridership cleaned up and make sure we had enough space on the buses so we can maintain our distancing. We've opened up registration online for any parents that want their students to transition back to in-person and also from in-person to virtual. And this will impact the ridership as well. We do continue to struggle with bus drivers. Last week in particular has been really rough with getting kids to and from school on time because we don't have any subs. And so Mr. Griffin has done a great job of maneuvering the buses and getting them here. On a positive note though, we haven't had a lot of wear and tear on the buses this year. So that part has been really good. The buses have been not just the lack of miles, but the lack of being up and down the road. You know, the normal maintenance that happens hasn't impacted us this year as bad. Food service. This past week we transitioned from a 5-day meal kit down to a 3-day meal kit to reflect our kids being in school 4 days a week now. This ensures we stay within compliance, and it also makes sure that we're able to keep in with our reimbursements as well. Grounds on all the schools are looking great. The lawn care, the little bit of rain we had last week really greened everything up around the place, and everything looks really, really good. The roofs, Mr. Hale's is here tonight. He's going to speak to that in a little bit, of the warranty repair work that was completed at Nottoway and Riverdale. In the last month, we've had 3 different reports of leaks at the schools, and as soon as I get that call, I'm in the car and I'm at the school. At Nottoway, they said there were buckets catching the water in the hallways. Well, the teachers had put their trash baskets in the hallway for the janitor to get, so there were no leaks. At the middle school, we had 2 different issues. At room 11, we had a fitting break on a pipe, which caused the tile to come down. We repaired that. We had an HVAC drain that leaked water in the culinary arts department, which discolored a tile. So we took care of that. And the coupling to that unit going to the top is being replaced to prevent anything like that happening in the future. Let's see, what did I miss here? Oh, the second floor at the middle school. There was a pipe coming from the rooftop unit on the second floor that caused some discoloration in the tile and also on the floor of the second floor. But watertight, we're doing good. HVAC issues that we've had that have been kind of not consistent but prevalent at the schools. The nurses station here, it's kind of interesting. This setup in here, the nurses station is on the same HVAC as this. So 2 meetings ago, or the last meeting that was here, it was pretty chilly in here, so I manually turned on the heat, left the heat on. It heats this space nicely, but it cooks Miss Tomlin over there. So we got that figured out. That was completely on me for that one. At Capron, the P-TECH units, having to deal with those, the controls, we get them reset, we're in good shape. All right. Heron 2 and 400 halls. This is one, it's an issue that's been going on, and we're trying to figure out if it is a component repair and replacement or if it is the complete system that needs to be replaced at Maharon. That unit is one that will send itself into alarm and we have to go reset it regularly. And so we have companies looking at it to see, one says it has to be a complete replacement, and the other one says it's a component issue, so we're trying to figure out where we need to be with that. That's the same unit as Nottoway, where that was completely replaced 2 years ago, 3 years ago now in the fall. So it's at that same lifespan. So we're looking at that. Unit 1 at Riverdale, it controls part of the Blue Hall, the computer lab, and the front office area, the nurses station. That unit had a component that went out. We got that fixed, so we are good to go there. Currently, we are in negotiations with Vacorp and Versa. They have both presented us with their proposals for insurance coverage starting July 1. We actually will meet with them again next week as they kind of came in. Some components were apples to oranges, so we asked them to go back and make adjustments in their proposals so we could ensure that we were comparing equals with both companies. Like I said, hopefully we'll have another presentation with them, and I'll have a recommendation back here for you next month so that we are good to go July 1st. So now I'm going to ask Mr. Hale to come up, and he will give you kind of a rundown of the warranty repairs that were completed at Riverdale and Nottaway.
Thank you, Mr. Melby. Chairman, Superintendent, and Board, thank you for allowing us to continue to serve to make sure that these new roofs you have are taken care of properly and last the time that they're supposed to last. I also applaud you for doing that. So often we do projects and then nobody takes care of the new roofs, and that's horrible. So thank you very much for taking care of your new roofs and letting us help. This is much more detailed, and I won't go through the whole thing because it covers the whole program. But just in essence, what we did is we inspected all the roofs, and we had Powell and Sons help us from a labor standpoint to clean the roofs, clean out the gutters. We took bags and bags of debris off of some of the roofs where there were leaves and algae and different things. And we inspected all the roofs, and we made lists and turned those in to Mr. Melby, and then contacted the contractors to come back and do warranty type repairs and non-warranty type repairs. And Mr. Melby has handled all that, and the contractors have taken care of it. There were some anomalies that we were interested in to see what we were seeing, what we wanted to see underneath. So we did some destructive testing at Riverdale and Nottaway, and what it was unevenness in the plywood, nothing that would affect the integrity or the performance of the roof. We had the manufacturer there to witness that and observe it and give their opinion and tie them to the inspection. We also did the inspection, and then the destructive testing was put back in accordance with the specifications that the roof was originally installed. And there's still something there. It's a little cosmetic when the deck there's an irregularity in the deck, but it's nothing that will affect the performance of the roof in any way. The other things that were on the roof, there was some issues with some flashing at an expansion joint where the wind had gotten a hold of metal and caused some problems. That was repaired. Other loose flashing was repaired. A lot of sealant was done. And I think the plan is to continue to do these inspections on an annual basis and make sure these roofs are maintained and go beyond 20 years. So, does anybody have any questions about the roofs?
Board members, any questions for Mr. Melby or Mr. Hale?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So, additional information, Mr. Melby?
Rolling right into the next item.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the capital improvement plan.
Yes, ma'am. So the process has been started for developing a 10-year capital improvement plan for Southampton County Public Schools. We established a base of a committee last week to discuss the needs and concerns, and this committee will expand over time. We know over the next couple of months as we meet, we will include more members of our community to be a part of this, so their voices are heard. Now, the overarching goal of this entire project is the development of a plan that addresses the major projects, renovations, infrastructure, and construction needs for the county. so that we can dedicate the monies to making sure that they happen. So this was just, we met last week, Mr. Worsham was there, and we had a great Zoom discussion, so it was good. It was a good talk, and we got the ball rolling. And that's just giving you a brief overview. Any questions?
This is, I think, like we said, I think we've got a good start.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of input from folks, that's simple to see that on the initial meeting. And I think, like I said, like experience, I think we'll find out more, probably more people involved, we'll find out a little more.
Yes, sir.
Could we?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
As board members know, the reason for the capital improvement plan is to make sure that we have established our priorities and our plans for projects to improve existing school facilities, as well as perhaps to promote new facilities if needed. So it promotes better use of the school system's funds to provide for major facility repairs, replacement, and we're trying to come with a 10-year capital improvement plan so that we can identify those major expenses, money that's above just routine maintenance issues. So, Dr. Shannon, anything to add?
Not at this time. I guess it should be noted, though, that we are included in the county's capital improvement plan as well.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the Southampton High School graduation. Dr. Shannon?
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Bell is going to share with us the plans for graduation.
Good evening. I'm glad to stand before you tonight to be able to share that we would like to ask for an in-person graduation. Even though we enjoyed our drive-through parade last year, we would like to come back to some type of normalcy. And we do have a plan here for you that we'd like you to look at tonight. Our original date was set for Saturday, June the 19th at 10 a.m. We are asking that you look at moving it to June the 18th, Friday, June the 18th at 6:30 p.m. This is just a change. June 19th is a holiday, so we would like for families to be able to celebrate with their families on that day and us not take up half of that day. We would set up inside as we normally would for the gym, just in case of rain. But we are asking that this graduation is held on the football field this year. We would still have everything that we have on the inside, except for the presentation to the graduates, the slideshow. Here we have listed the details of what we would like to have, including our speeches, our messages, our musical selections. Again, everything that we normally have on the inside, we are proposing to have on the outside. We are looking to give the kids 4 tickets. We would color code those tickets in case we need to come inside. If we have to come inside, we would allow them to have 2 guests in the gym and 2 guests in the auditorium. This would help us with maintaining our social distance and spacing. We are going to live stream the video, the ceremony, whether we're inside or outside, and we would put that up and post it so that those persons who are not able to come on whichever day we decide to have it would be able to look at it at their convenience. As far as logistics for outside parking, we're going to ask the students to park in the student parking lot. We're going to use the back of the middle school to have our handicap parking. We're going to use the front of the building where the buses unload and load for our regular guests to park. And we have gotten some volunteers who have offered to come and use their golf carts to transport people to the field. And we're going to ask people to ride at their own convenience. We will have our signage posted These are just the signage things that we found that go with graduations that we found online. At this time, as I said, we're looking to do 4 tickets because we needed to plan now. That would give us 800 guests plus all of our students. We do have 206 students slated to graduate. We're working hard to make sure that we continue to have 206 on that day. This would also include all of the cabinet members, teachers, and everything. So we're looking at about 1,100 people, which we can house inside or outside. But again, we'd like to do it on the outside. Rain date information, again, if we choose to do Friday night, we will be checking the weather. So if we have to go inside, we will let those students know when we meet with them that if we call and say it's inside, they'll know which tickets are supposed to go where before we even get close to the date, so there's no confusion. And again, we like to keep the same date for rain date, but simply go from outside to inside. Everything will be set up. And I just wanted to give you guys a little prize here. This is the banner that will go up at the road and in front of the building like we did on last year of all of our graduates for this year. And as you can see, there are a bunch of them. Thank you for your time.
Any questions, Ms. Bell? So the only action item for the board then is to approve holding graduation on Friday, June 8th at 6 p.m. So you would have such a motion? I'm sorry, June 18th. So approve having graduation on Friday, June 18th at 6 p.m. So we have a motion by Ms. Bunn. Was that a second by Mr. Scott? Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. The motion is approved. So Friday night, June 18th.
Dr. Goodwin, we did set it for 6:30.
Okay, 6:30.
At 6:30, and the sunset is set at 8:30. So we set it at 6:30. That would give us exactly 2 hours to be in and out.
Okay. So traditional live graduation, Friday, June 18th, 2021, 6:30 on the football field.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the employee tuition and assessment reimbursement, and this is the first read on a policy. Dr. Shannon, you want to give us highlights?
We actually have Ms. Hicks from the Department of Human Resources coming up to talk a little bit about it. I will say that this came up at our school board budget committee work session. We talked a little bit about trying to reimburse our teachers for part of the tuition payments for taking assessments, and these are assessments to become licensed or to enhance their skills, as well as even providing sign-on bonuses for hard-to-fill positions. So Ms. Hicks will talk a little bit about it.
Dr. Goodwin, board members, Dr. Shannon, I stand before you elated and excited to share with you this initial plan. This is FYI information on this evening because Southampton County Public Schools would like for their employees to have educational incentive plans for the assistance with the growth of development of our employees. The purpose of the plan, just want to give you now a little information because there will be a committee drawn together to actually develop it. But we wanted to share this information to give you a heads up that we're coming, we're coming, we're coming, we're coming. Very excited. The purpose of this plan is to offer incentives and benefits to encourage self-development in the employees' fields, such as sign-on bonuses for recruitment of employees, reimbursement for retention of employees. This incentive is intended to encourage professional growth and to increase effectiveness in the employee's current position. The Employee Educational Incentive Plan will include assistance with the cost of tuition and other expenses related to the pursuit of initial licensures, as well as expense reimbursement for certification and professional enhancement, including the examination required as part of their program to give them money back. So in summary, to be very, very quick, the three things in this plan, hopefully with the committee, we will present to you next month. A sign-on bonus for the difficult to staff positions, tuition assistance, and lastly, professional certification assessment reimbursement. Are there any questions?
Well, I just have a comment. You know, I think the plan is great, and I certainly support the idea, but I would like to see you have a list of courses here that will be eligible for the sign-on bonus. But I think the Virginia Department of Education also has a list of hard staff positions that would expand this list. And I would like to see us include in this list of eligible positions, positions that have been identified as VDOE as hard staff positions.
My pleasure. Absolutely. Thank you.
And the other thing is that I'm glad to know that you are including some non-degree and adult education classes, because hopefully the program will be open not only to teachers but to any employee of Southampton County Public Schools. So it's not just limited to teachers, but any employee who would like to take, who would like to have some professional development or something for professional growth would be qualified to participate in this program. So I'm excited about it.
Yes, ma'am. I'm excited as well. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? So we'll look forward to a report next month.
Yes, ma'am.
That has more specifics. So the next item is the student enrollment and the teacher attendance report.
Sure. The enrollment for the month of March was 2,481 students, and that's grades K through 12. And then inclusive of our preschool and special education preschool students, the total enrollment was 2,614 students. And looking at our student attendance report, Meharon Elementary School had 99.95% attendance by their students. So they are the winner, and that is certainly to be commended. And then our teacher attendance report, Nottoway Elementary School is the winner with 97.19% for teacher attendance.
Fantastic. Great. Please notice that there's a note about the School Board Selection Commission Committee as provided in section 2.2.1-37 of the Code of Virginia. The School Board Selection Commission will meet on Monday, June 7th for the public hearing for 2 members of the Southampton County School Board, one from nuisance district and one for the at-large district. And then that commission will make its appointment on Tuesday, June the 15th. And so that's there, and it will also be posted in the newspaper as required. So pursuant to section 2.2-3711A1 and 2 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, the board, upon a motion and a second, will convene in a closed session to discuss personnel appointments, resignations, retirements, and stipends, and school admissions matters. Do we have such a motion? We have a motion by Ms. Reynolds, a second by Mr. Smith. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. So we will meet in the library for closed session. After closed session, we will return to this area for the open session. I will meet school board members in the library.